Well, the woman in the UK, she probably likes this song, if she doesn't mind me saying. Voice is scary, and I know why. But it's my song now. I'm claiming it as mine. If he can keep me alive. He wants me. If he could keep me alive, you want me. If I don't off myself. I didn't say I'm suicidal. I'm saying that when that happened in July, okay, the reason the cause and condition happened that even led to that thing to begin with, all right, is that I met someone that I thought had the spiritual spark. And the way that I felt rejected by her, others in town, right? The way that I felt that they hated my book and my light, spirituality, and God and Jesus. And then feeling that my emotions during the July super solar storm were going to result in me living in the streets and eventually having something bad happen to me. That caused me to become super stressed out, and I started to, under the influence of alcohol, threaten to kill myself. And they locked me up for 9 days. And by talking about that even further, I feel like people went, oh yeah, he's officially, And then a Muslim guy who claimed to watch my channel, he says that he loves the Taliban and hates Sufi realities, which is already scary. Hates marijuana, hates a lot of decent things, hates Americans, hates the Bill of Rights, hates freedom, on and on. I'm kind of guessing on those. Definitely hates my freedom. There is a really dark demonic takeover, and I need to get out of this town. So I'm asking for help. What you need to know about explosive tempers, if you're a newbie, is you could be arguing with somebody and get into an accident, get thrown out of a house, have your stuff stolen because people at work, whatever, are being pumped up about what's going on, and they don't know what's going on. Now, what I just had happen here at the fast food restaurant is that they sit down next to me, sort of, and they're listening to what I'm saying, and they're eating their food, and I'm assuming that they're hearing how intelligent I am. Everything that I'm saying. I'm talking about helping elderly people avert heart attacks through healthy nutrition and exercise during solar storms, among, of course, other topics. And then she comes back to me and drops the card and says, all she needs is Jesus. All she needs is the Bible. And so modern day supposed Christians reveal their white supremacy nature by saying, bro, you're not the Bible. But would they ever read a book from a white person? Absolutely. Would they ever watch a TV show or a Fox News or a Candace Owens? Absolutely. Even though she's black, she's an approved race. And so, like, a lot of people don't give me a chance for reasons that are in their subconscious. Now, you are advised to look up something like subliminal mind control. And so, the reason I moved here, if anyone is new, is because of the harassment that I dealt with living alone off the grid. So I'd like to go to the places that I mentioned earlier. I don't know about the South. I don't know if there's any viewers of mine in the South. I doubt it. Sounds like everybody's a northern state folk. I'd love to be in the northern states. I just don't know anyone with any space. And then what I'm told on a regular basis is, or have been told, and she's somewhat right, I'm going to have difficulty building friendships and bridges, being that I'm an asshole. And I thought about playing the song Asshole for You by Dennis Leary earlier. So I felt hurt when she said that, but also like, yeah, I am. And so there is this deep-seated fear that I have by my masculine fiery nature that I'm just going to end up losing everything. And I just thought you should know, because I don't really feel like there's something I can do right now, okay, to fix the situation. I got into an accident tonight, and it was perceived that I did on purpose. And I said sorry, and my insurance already went up. And so what I want to tell the women, if there's any women here that are listening, it seems like my desire for you to be my friend and talking about people ignoring me has resulted in, to the best of my knowledge, everybody bailing on the channel that's a local frequency. That they're like, fuck this shit. You will have nothing at all to do with this dude who's speaking about these things. There's energy coming through, and then people can pick up on energy, transference of energy. So if you're speaking truth in a region of demons, and they pick up on your frequency, and they pick up on your angst, and they pick up on your emotions, they might go, you know what? We need to unsubscribe from this because this guy's exposing so much evil that every time we, and then we can feel his thoughts. We can feel his angst. And so people that are orthodox people that have been abused by the church not know the real powers of the mind to be subservient to white supremacy manipulation of the Bible. When Jesus said, I can do many things and you can do more, like mainstream Latinos who go to the mainstream church, they're not in a psychological position to go, oh, wow, this is new. This is intelligent. What else do you know? They're going, get away from me. They think I'm retarded and violent. Ultimately, and I can't really, talk much about my life, but my yelling, my shouting, my fiery nature may have eliminated the mistakes that I made under stress, may have eliminated my home, meaning I could be facing fatality. And I'm becoming poor. That was the main thing. This environment will rob you. This region will rob you. This region will take your health. This region will take your soul. This region will take your mind. In some cases, this region, if you're looking too pretty in a COVID mask, look like a slutty BDSM freak, they're going to take that ass. And there's a lot of people out there here in this region that hate good men, that literally believe, like, I don't know if Gypsy's right or not, but I should never even consider that Gypsy Fox could be right about the cops trying to kill me if he thinks I'm a nutter for talking about the sun. Once you see people go in a super uber dark direction of nothing other than talking about like women or something, you need to step away of that supremacy ideology when they themselves claim that they're perfect and or believe in God. Isn't that funny? And so the real nature of the Jewish white supremacy is a subconscious mind say, oh, you as a short brown person, you don't do shit. And you'll notice that they'll never compliment my punching bags, especially if they're athletes. And they're always talking about burpees, working out. They're a lot like they can't give positive compliments. And so that's the issue that I also dealt with a lot of yelling and what's bothering me. It seems that the world only sees the negative side of myself. It's from that I'm suffering. So I'm going to end this because I've already talked for hours. Will you consider emailing me? I would like to stay what day is it today? What day is it today? You see the amount of stress I'm going through? I know what day it is. All right. All right. I gave the waitress at a certain place my channel, but when I went back to the restaurant, she never talked to me. And she is that way. She's really addicted to her cell phone. And so when she's on her cell phone, she's so cracked out, I start going off on cell phone addiction. She may not even be hearing me. And so the cell phone addiction, the TikTok addiction, I wish my mom would open up more psychically as to how she believes she's been attacked by the phone, because if she doesn't realize that archonic thought forms have attacked her through her devices, she's more asleep than I thought. I should actually step away from her energy further. Maybe even kick her out of the members area. If she does not know that her high-tech addiction, also fake news, piece of shit content creators that are viral. So she doesn't really appreciate the little guy. You know what I mean? I'm really good. And so I really need her to get a DNA upgrade. I really need you to get a DNA upgrade. You can call it the ascension for those that are humping the new age vocabulary. I really need to see and believe that you don't hate the light. I really need your help. Do you know anybody that would help me? You don't. Well, you let me know down at Magic Shift 333 at proton.me, but I want nothing more than to get away from you, honey, if you happen to live here locally. I want nothing more, if you are listening to me and you're local, to get as far away from you as possible, or to be helped by one of you as possible on an hour basis, to maybe like stay on a couch, not with you, but on a floor somewhere to get away with what I have now. Because when the sun is active, I just perceive that I'm hated, and I want to just give someone some space, if that makes some sense. My presence is a caustic. My very energy and art, me standing up for myself and even talking, going, this is my side of the story. With the person in the streets, this environment is so anti-intelligence. If you argue with the cop or try to rationalize with the cop, you could get harmed. If you try to rationalize with a certain person who you are needing or dependent, right? They might be projecting when they're saying, don't be intelligent, don't talk deep. Do you know if you're dealing with someone that's projecting? Okay, that's troublesome when we are encouraged to not be smart, when we are encouraged to not speak the truth, when we are treated like we're having a mental health crisis. And so I feel like I'm becoming powerful as a man, and I need to have like an environment. I feel like I'm a barn animal. I need to have like an environment with a large enough space where I can frolic like a horse or something. I'm not going to overly apologize just where I need to when I raise my voice. Sometimes I go too far and I really scare myself and others. Certain people think I'm violent because I yell, and that makes me feel bad. And then the more you in an argument, right, talk about negative things that you perceive that people see about you, the more of that you can create. Sounds so new agey, sounds like BS. And I found that that truth is accelerating, although you, the people, to the best of my knowledge, haven't said shit to me that's racist. But the way that I feel treated and ignored comes across as that. And it doesn't mean that you are racist. It means, and I explain this on your channel, don't say you are. I don't know who's watching. Tribalism and the fact that you're separated by thousands of miles and you might be broke, that's part of it. And it's also not really in the interest of a lot of men to help a man like me or some men, but to get with women. And so people wonder why I'm trying to meet good people that like Jesus, that don't hate Jesus, that like Jesus. There's a reason for that. And I explained it earlier. If I'm happy and I'm with the right people and a female and she's my friend, I guarantee I can find a way to stop yelling about shit and crying and smell the roses. And I feel like people want me to suffer or something. In the recent polling that I did on the channel, nobody is marking that they're a local, meaning the local women may be the very ones that are fleeing me. I'm trying to figure out if the woman who claimed to be a conspiracy theorist didn't even give my content a chance last night at Kroger. Let me tell you a little bit about Kroger, but let me complete this thought here. So the explosive tempers happen in accidents, increasingly so. And these things can cause breakups, homelessness, violence, shooting others, getting shot, or making accusations that others that are being emotional are plotting our downfall. So one can accuse me, and then I will turn around and accuse them. Oh, you think, well, then I'm, you know what I mean? And then what you have is a lack of, in this day and age, conflict resolution. For those just now joining us, I gave a long speech before two senior citizens 10 feet away from me. They heard everything that I say, then came back over and gave the card up. And the woman's like, I just read the Bible. Me even saying that I knew something about something, she just edited out everything. And natural born white supremacists will always remove the idea that somebody short and brown actually knows something about something. They'll just act automatically. Welcome. Welcome. It's been 10 years since then. That was before the worst of the worst in Portland. And if you are a spiritual person in Portland and you're new to this channel, welcome. Or say, thank you, Eddie. Or no, you weren't in Portland, but you were watching me in Portland from YouTube. And so, I don't smoke or have access to indica, regular marijuana. And we all know that if I was working at a pot farm, which is somewhat of a dream of mine, in case any of you are into that sort of thing. And so I wish I had like a life coach or somebody to help me improve my web skills, maybe aspect to my social skills. And that's where friendship comes in and doing hangouts, meetups. And so if anybody comes here later, it would be awesome to do male and female, but I feel like me and a female burned our bridges between us. And I feel like we have to stay apart. Even if I'm sending her positive energy, I hope she wakes up from her mind control, but she seems to be really offended that I believe that she needs to wake up further. I think that she must think that she's the goddess or something. And if she thinks that she has all the answers, then why doesn't she write a book or something that I can read? But she's so very defensive. Okay, a certain person, okay, that is not in the United States. Okay. And so you got to understand, I take all of these micro experiences that I have with people falling out. Okay. Eddie, email me and understand that nefarious forces watch the chat bot. Got it? Some of you never dealt with hate. Just make sure you're in the program. Okay, you guys are to email me. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good. You understand? Email. You are to email me if you're trying to get my attention or if you're trying to help or something. You are to email me. All right? I think that there's a delay. I think there's a delay because I'm running it through the board, isn't there? No, this is actually running straight. So this is live. So you do hear me live, right? All right. Um, I'm a distance from there, but that is Middle America, and I am assuming that where you are, and we're not going to verbalize it right now, but you can email me, is that that's probably going to be more insulated from the worst of the worst. However, the bigotry of your region is above and beyond Thunderdome. If you don't know how to email, that's troublesome. But what I can tell you, if you don't know how to email, wow. How'd you set up a YouTube account? You know what I mean? Go open up new window and type in gmail.com. I'm certainly not going to make accusations you're fucking with me. So we'll just play this through like you're legit. If you open up your YouTube account to Gmail and go gmail.com, it should actually open up. Know what I mean? You actually have to be logged in. So we can't discount the fact that you're fucking with me. If you open up a new tab, you understand, new tab, right? You see where this is going? Everybody witnessing this? I appreciate the fact that you're reaching out. But for whatever reason, there seems to be a disconnect between myself being able to get volunteers and people that, I'm not insulting you, are able to email me. Email is a pretty basic function, and you have to have an email to have a YouTube account to comment on a chatbot. So we'll move on. I think we got our answer. I don't have a problem with the American flag, but are you a new viewer? All the people that I know that wear the American flag are on the militant side at present in America, whereas in the traditional use of the American flag was about freedom. Right now, it pretty much leans towards the right. And I'm not aware of American flag types that are totally freaked out about the genocide of the Middle East. I think that for a lot of mainstream guys that wear the flag, so I'm all pro-flag and what it's supposed to represent, but a lot of people that sport the flag from United Armor with that mind control symbol that Gypsy Fox has a heart on for also, while saying he's not a normie, but he's a normie as fuck, pink hats and all. There's a pattern here, folks, with people that are obsessed on the American flag, not even like understanding the most basic things about what's happening in, of all places, America. So it's very important that people not confuse flag worship or people criticizing flag obsessions with hating America or hating people. Okay. I'm not into flags and whatnot, and typically they aren't the folks that help me. Thank you, Gypsy Fox. And I don't know if I know who you are, but I've seen the name before and believe that you are, not a kid, but much older. All right. So you can privately reach me, Gypsy Rose, and discuss with me if you know of any options. But understand my concerns. It's fighting with people, it's arguments, it's being slandered by people and having my life destroyed by people that become demonically possessed that are actually sleeper agents. Do not think I'm schizophrenic for bringing this up. In my experience as a content creator, remember, I'm a creator of information ideas no one has, as opposed to what? A consumer. That puts me in a different category. That puts me in a world in which I can end up in explosive arguments with people that say, don't know about the sun, and are watching me and are into my energy from something other than actually liking my ideas. And so what's problematic about me asserting myself is people that claim to be friends can easily divert into, oh, you're like a cult leader then. Oh, fuck. What? And then all the emotions and arguments begin then from the false accusation, or you're a liar, or you're this. And then from this, that, you have accidents. Fortunately, I have not dealt with domestic violence, but I was locked up for 9 days for falsely threatening to kill myself because I thought somebody was going to make me homeless. In Portland, Oregon, that would have never happened to me. It would have been a few hours in the drunk tank. They would have never came. But here they're like, fresh meat, and they tortured me. Women tortured me and showed me. I talk about Eli all the time, Eddie. Do you follow the videos? I'm not demanding that you follow my videos. I was just asking. I talk about him all the time. And he bailed on me. And so I entertain ideas that he's been radicalized against me. Makes sense? Because he's very defensive of Trump. And if you like Trump, that's fine. But I told you I'm alpha. Trump is to come to me and ask me for help. I'm way different than any man you've ever met. I believe I'm superior to the people that run the U.S. military. I'm not anti-vet. I should be a vet. Make sense? They prevented me from joining the Navy. I tried. But because of a demon named Gunner Standard, he made sure I had a felony by the time that I was 19. So I'm being shown like almost a godly level of intuition right now. You know what I mean? Like about all kinds of shit. Have you been watching my videos at all? I'm telling you what's coming. I'm not a normal guy. And so a lot of people get drawn to me that aren't in my prophecy, aren't into my solar flares, aren't into my absence of Trump, but they get attracted to my energy. And I'm not accusing you. I'm telling you, you need to be aware of any energy vampirism that anyone listening here may not know that they have. If you're drawn to me to just hang out with me, right, or watch me, but you're turned off by all the information, then you're just attracted to the energy then, right? And if that's the case, that's not a good situation for a living situation or a friendship. Because once you actually meet someone and smell them and see their eyes, then you feel the energy of what it's like to be in that room. And if you have someone come over, I shot heroin, Gypsy Rose, and got busted. It's a felony. And they treated me like a criminal. So that's what happened. You know, and I stole pants from Nordstrom and ran, and that's an F. And so based on that, people took that and made it seem like, you know, I was deserving of all types of horrible things to happen to me. All right. I have talked about this many, many times. I did both of those. And so I have trouble being in full recovery here because of what I'm going through. And so I consume synthetic THC. And not having real stuff is killing me. I am furious at marijuana smokers for not giving a fuck that I've got nothing. Just to let you know what time it is. If a man like me doesn't have his medicine, he can lose his mind in his life. And a lot of people in America don't get that part. You know what I mean? It never goes away. And so I'm pissed off at people that have marijuana, including you, Eddie, that don't try to reach out to me via email to get me my medicine. I just want to rage and scream and curse you. You know, I'm going to do that without yelling, but that just so he knows what's up. I demand from the people that claim to like me to help me get medicine. Makes sense? Especially when there's a lot of braggarts saying how cheap it is. That makes me think these people are pieces of crap. If they're not even think-taking, they just don't get it. A lot of people in Oklahoma, just in general, and Oregon are so high off of pot that they can afford that they cannot even conceive of the mental health crisis being experienced by a guy who has nothing. Furthermore, one person who was helping me with my medicine became possessed and threw me away. Never talked to me again. Why? Because I got into the magical battle of Britain, which is what? Going in the God force to fight Nazis. Thank you. Now, I'm going to tell you real quick how to set up an email, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But I'm just going to assume maybe you don't know for whatever reason because you're part of an older generation. I don't even know your age. You go to proton.me. Oh, I got it, Eddie. So I support you also being sober. I don't think that's probably why you're being nice. Here we go. Full-time potheads lack empathy right now, which leads me sometimes to, let's talk about Eli a little bit more, which leads me to speculate that for some people, heavy marijuana addiction calls in the entities. And Gypsy Rose cannot because it causes panic attacks. And I believe that's whatever your potential ancestry is. I don't assume you're East Indian or Arabic. And I believe that those ancestries, they need that shit. And so for me to have the trauma that I have and that ancestry, and to not having massive amount of cheap marijuana while white people in the northern states have like free marijuana, that's part of, you guys aren't part of it. I'm not blaming you unless you're hiding shit from me. That's part of the system of white supremacy. Is marijuana not being available for all. What marijuana is, unfortunately, is a high dollar market for opportunists. And there's a lot of these opportunists in Portland, and because they're greedy, because they're in a way dangerous to people that want to, should I cry too much about the businesses being robbed in Portland that are the vape shops? How about these ones here where they poison people with the synthetic? Should I really be that upset? Desert Fox has said some interesting things, and if he wants to return to the conversation and send an email, he should. But he and all the Muslims right now are perceived to hate me. until they communicate with me and say that they do take back these hateful things they said about me for liking Sufi realities. The Orthodox Muslims have shown me that they're taken. And Desert Vox needs to know that he is the reason why I'm viewing that. He of all people shouldn't be taking my videos and see me screaming Alex Jones and uploading that to the internet so people that like Alex Jones, that hate Arabs, will try to hurt me. What kind of a Muslim? What kind of a Muslim would side with right wingers or act like he's not knowing that he's fueling right wing hate towards me? Than somebody saying that he would fight me in the streets of Portland when I'm not even talking to him, but telling Alex Jones that he's not superior to me, that I would take him out in 1 minute. And the people in the chat weren't getting it. It wasn't about me saying I'm going to beat up Alex Jones and attack him. It's saying that he is not genetically, racially superior to me, but inferior. He's a nutbag, including all the demons that listen to him. And the reason why you are a demon, if you're an Alex Jones fan, is because he demonized my people, which is why we can't be friends if you're still into Satanism. He is not a good man. I am a good man. I'm a real Alex. I do not tolerate Alex Jones people in my field. You have to hide that shit. Kick that shit down the drain. I am the one to be respected. If you know who Alex Jones is and you listen to him, I'm ordering you to email him and go, why would you ever throw this guy away? This guy is legit. And if you and him were to work together instead of fighting one another, I would like you both more. Have you ever thought of telling Alex Jones that? So if you are a closet listener of Alex Jones, okay? And I think most of you are not, but there are some of you that might be. You should email him and Suspicious Observers. Now, the reason why people stop listening to me, but they don't attack me, sometimes they have to move on, and sometimes I'm setting through such a strong current of energy that they are feeling ill. And the other reason people unsubscribe is the more that you're told about the nature of morality, the more that you're told that if you keep going down a particular road, God gonna fuck you up. Or God gonna allow someone to fuck. The more that you... Where did my thought go? Where the more you tell people that if you go down certain directions and roads, you will face certain things. What is the reason why some people, even when they're not being insulted and they're being assisted, will run away or attack me to end the friendship? The reason, as a psychic who doesn't know everything, but maybe more than you know about certain things, otherwise they'll be watching you. Right? A lot of people, they don't want to hear too much because then they're responsible for no longer supporting mass murders. And so if someone's basically like listening to somebody saying, if you support people that kill, if you support people that false flag and say certain people are trying to kill you with terrorism, but they didn't do nothing from 2015, 2016, 2017, so if you do not repent of the fake news matrix, which brought us Trump, Biden, and all of them work for them. And you'd have to be mentally retarded, borderline retarded, to not get it. He pushed the jab. And by the way, no one white here is even remotely left-leaning. Not that they should be, but that should really solidify the idea that a lot of people are just becoming extremely radicalized to a groupthink that in no way will protect them or help them. It makes more sense to overeat at McDonald's, chasing dopamine hits and slapping random people on the ass than to think that you're actually going to dopamine hit return on giving Donald Trump your energy, your love, or your orgasms if you've got a vibrator with his signature on it. Okay, I'm not assuming that's the case here on my main channel, but that is the case for a lot of people, for a lot of dudes. They got the Donald Trump vibrator, and they like to pick it up when no one's looking around and go, God, what a man. They just hold it in their hands. And they just look around to make sure no one's there. And they act like they're straight and whatnot, but they're faggy as hell. What type of a man puts his face on Stallone? I did that when I was 12. Okay. Now, Stallone's a little guy. I'm a little guy. So what's up with all the tall man worship if Stallone's short? I mean, think this through like a scientist. What type of society would simultaneously engage in giant worship and then see the giant worship of all giant worship, our Mr. Archon dude, whatever, putting his face on a little body? I mean, that's next level. And so I see myself as a healer of the highest order that can make people so enraged they make me homeless. because I say things about the programming that are considered and perceived to be so offensive. And I really should complete my thoughts and move on. My accidents that I'm getting into are caused by high stress. And I feel like I was accused of deliberately smashing into someone's car during a disagreement when the solar flares were attacking my belly. So I now know that previous attacks that I had that were blamed on alcohol were actually solar induced. And even if I'm drinking water, the most basic or mildest amounts of caffeine will drain and dehydrate me. Now, so far, I'm not getting a danger vibe from Gypsy, Rose. And I don't perceive you to be, from what you're showing, highly unattractive or attractive, but neutral, which is where it should be. And probably similar age group or 10 years older, and Native American and white, which means you have the spark, but some of the male counterparts, depending on the Native American tribe, can end up on the dark side in America if they don't maintain. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And if there were in the future, and there will be some, half, that's what I guessed. Half, it's close to that, half Afghani, half white. Don't assume they'll be spiritual like me necessarily. Don't assume nothing, because we can see highly attractive, highly intelligent Zoe and Tamim that are related to my dad, but they hate me. So they're good looking, looks. They're intelligent. But the third component, spirit, they're not spiritual. They're carnalists, right? So they believe in being intelligent, right? Mixed race, Zoe, mixed race, Tamim. But Tamim never cared about me. And so even though I exposed Donald Trump and I exposed the racism towards Latinos, Latinas, and my people, he does not apologize to me, okay, for calling me a conspiracy theorist. And the reason why I'll translate my stuff to Spanish in the future, so people can understand that a lot of mainstream conspiracy stuff on the internet hates Hispanics and makes shit up oftentimes and doesn't explain the larger context of what's coming. So we need Latino, Latina conspiracy people. If any of you speak Spanish that's local, get at me. But basically, I am angry now at locals. They know I'm angry. They're unsubbing, and there's not a single female. Nobody can really help me or fix my problems, and no one's really obligated to let me stay at their place. But a lot of people out there have extra spaces. I absolutely do want to get into a new living situation where I don't end up homeless, to where there's the potential for me to migrate elsewhere. And if you haven't been homeless, if you haven't been poor and shadow banned, if you don't know about the cost of real estate in Colorado and you're just thinking go off grid, you don't know how complicated it can be. I don't have a van dwelling car, guys. That means a car that I can sleep in. It's not that kind of a car. Okay. And so people that watch my channel are like, bro, you should go. There's aspects of what Gypsy and others said that were right on, but like, to go where? You know what I mean? Into the desert. And so a lot of dudes can be like that. And so it's going to be set on the record that a female who's commented before, but I don't know you're in your energy exactly, but is offering to help. And there was Eddie. Okay. On the main channel, not berating anyone, I'm doing statistical data sharing or whatever. Another female commented, and she's been around for a couple of years. We don't agree on everything, but I think that she has a soft voice. And I said that I would watch her videos because she's calming. But I also said that those of us with matching mental health disturbances, you know, I keep repeating my friend's advice, but if we're fighting, then I need to like rethink how much he said that I have took in that's real. You know what I mean? But it was that none of you would help me. I'm not here to berate, but tell you, like, there's truth in what she said. And that's why I came here and thought this was the place for me. But the more I live here, the more I see what's coming is going to destroy me. And the argument now is, what's happening to you? Well, the solar flares. No. There's something else. What the fuck? And then the argument begins. And it is the solar flares, guys. It is. It really fucking is. I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm a regular human. I feel like I'm breaking from the race, the species. You know, I'm getting ready to go home. I'm not here to berate women, but to say that men are not the only ones that become aggressive and get in your face during solar storms. Things can be said from your partner or partners that are really intense when solar flares are happening, and there could be a massive screaming match that not the sun doesn't exist, but that's scapegoating. or skirting from the problem. And that right there can be perceived as like frustrating gaslighting when you know the sun is ramping up both of the people that are arguing, and somebody can keep their amplitude quiet and still be highly aggressive and accusatory and inflammatory to get someone to react or overreact, which is basically like the main tenet of my point. And so what happened was I was animated energetically. I was trying to evacuate an argumentative situation, and I didn't think that I caused damage, but I backed into a car, and I'm going to have to account. And I don't know how much of this is going to take from me. And donations are, what, 30 or 40 a month? Like that's not even a drop in any bucket. I'm not going to say it's nothing, but I mean, we all know that can't get you food now. So I'm not attacking anybody. I said, if you know that you can't help me and everything's getting poor, I said a long time ago, people should have been preparing to go off grid to deal with no food. And people are going to sell women to eat in the future. People will sell kids and people to fuck in order to eat bread. That's exactly how I see everything unfolding. And I'm not convinced it's going to go away. I think they're going to bring us to our knees, you know what I mean? And then there'll be the solution. I feel like I have to leave now and go back to where, but what is the soul report right now as we speak? I want to thank Eddie for commenting, and I hope that I'm giving constructive feedback and I'm not attacking. But this type of dialogue in my private life, even at this rate or pitch, can be perceived as that. Now, did I actually attack demons today, though, intentionally? And scream that 9/11 was an inside job at Kroger loudly and that the grid's going down? Yes, I did. Because it is going down. And when it goes down, there's going to be people starving and looting and banging. And that lesbian girl who I won't say crush, but I'm fascinated by her energy. I yell, it's an inside job. The grid's going down. So I want her to like me. And then I look at her and I see that she has fear in her eyes. Sometimes I see that she's showing me that somebody raped her and threw her in a room. And she's telling me, like, I don't know you. Something happened to me. You know what I mean? She's scared. And so a lot of people, they're just trying to be safe because people out there are brutal. And the types of games that are out there and things depicted in porn show tall white dudes, take no offense if you're one of them, manipulating short brown women or short Latina women into rape-like situations and laughing about it. Or paralyzed women, acting like they're on a date or something like that. And the woman says, get out. And the dude just tears into her. And they trick you, if you're in that dark world, into watching certain stuff that you don't realize is that bad, yet they sneak in like a roofie. Forced homosexuality. I was curious what was in a video and wasn't, I just was curious what was in a video, and it showed the black guy punching out the white guy to screw the woman. And went, what the fuck? If people are going, okay, we just don't watch porn, but they don't know what they're putting in porn, they're disenfranchised. You know what I mean? Gypsy gets it. Parents all across America that have never even seen porn are not even aware that they are teaching black men how to round up the women and kill and rape them. Okay, now I don't know if you were offering to help me or not. You said you're married. I'm fine with married people, but typically they can't help me if there's a jealousy issue. And typically I tell all the people that watch me, your husbands and your wives will destroy your life. If they find out you watch me. And so that's the basic advice that I give people. Moving on. And so people are too happy, then they probably should be careful watching my channel. Because if their partner does nothing, but I'm not going to, say I'm judging you, but that's how I am. If their partner is not a part of the movement to liberate the women, why is he your partner? You know what I mean? And I'm not talking to you specifically because you could be like me, needing to be taken care of. See, I'm not trying to berate even necessarily the Latina who gets with a taller man because she's trying to improve her fucking life. I'm trying to be empathetic, okay? I am empathetic and loving. And so if I feel like jealous on one hand of the dollar dudes, it doesn't mean that I think the women necessarily are demons, but that collectively it looks that way if the hands are working amongst themselves in a positive conspiracy to get me chat buddies. I'm not interested really in being any of your chat buddy if you're married. And there's a long history of only married women. who don't have a deep, deep thinking husband in experiences with others. And then I start to hear the shit talking about the husband. He this, he that, and I realize what's going on. I, as a media person, am the real dude. And the females can, right, as an empath, attach to my above average intelligence and go, this is awesome. But if I enter the household and there's other people that are watching and hearing my voice on the screen, it can create a disturbance where someone can get punished or berated, or I don't know about beaten, but right here. So I'm just talking about in the past. I would get a lot of that. One person even told me that they stole their husband's money to give to me. So there are extremely deranged wives that will somehow find their way to my content. And it usually has to do with some sort of good deed that I did to cover issues that affected their life. So example, the woman that stole the money to give to me, which freaked me out, which caused me to leave my land early and then burn that money in Vegas. That was a woman who said, if you don't come fuck me, I'm going to rape you. And now, are you ready for the location where she was calling from? Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Blanca, Colorado, Costia County. Put them on the glass. I bet you've seen that, Gypsy, Eddie, too. So those fuckers in Costia, and it's pedo central. And there's plenty of what you and I might call normal, well-adjusted dudes that are popular with alcohol, that are off-gridders, that hang out with people that admitted to going to Mexico and fucking children up the asshole. And so my deep, above average intelligence genius of describing white supremacy at a level that MLK never could is a level that you have never seen that will rock your world. Okay, and so supposedly straight white men that are buddies with homos that fuck kids in the ass are white supremacists. If they look down and talk shit to short brown men that are not pedophiles, that just fought for off-grid rights. Disney Dustin, who are friends of Ryan and McPherson, they're the giant worship couple. Also, the giants like to worship the petite little girl who looks like she's 10. So maybe that's Ryan McPherson of Pagosa was friends with so many pedos because his wife, Crystal, is like 5'1", and he's like 6'6". So I think this male obsession with super tiny females is a fantasy for a little girl who's not above 18. Did I make myself clear? Good. So if we have that going on the planet, but I'm not trying to be pro-pedo, I'm trying to ask you, does really that many men deserve to be in jail? If that many men and women demand, that's horrible, Gypsy. But there's a difference between that, and we'll talk about you if you want, and someone who's 17, 16, or 15, where both are consenting. Trafficking is different. Also, I'm going to say this. The current illegality system promotes human trafficking because pornography promotes the young ones, because certain things are illegal or they'll take you to prison and get you raped up the behind. People are super viral now with raping. And so people take kids, they take little girls here, and they take them downtown to where the cops don't go. Listen, oh my God. God is showing me fucking things, man. I'm scared. I'm repeating this now. I don't think married women can help me. But for someone that's, please help me get a home and talk to your friends about me. And I give you ideas like, do you want someone like to watch your house that stood up for off-gridders and became famous? Like, you need to learn how to talk to people if you don't have social skills. You need to learn how to brag about me in a mindful way. You need to get data about me that you can take to people. This dude warned about China in 2007. Here's his video. That's one. This dude talked about so many things about the sword players that nobody does. This is another. And this is the real reason why he's suffering and doesn't have, they're holding him back. This is the proof. This is the evidence. This is the targeting. Look at what they said about him. This is not that type of a dude. They're trying to get him killed. And I have a very bad feeling. TV screen, and it's basically showed 20 good-looking white women doing like a American Gladiator thing, and with only one, so don't stop watching, you are to stay. Only one tall black male going. And so, me and the disenfranchised white male and the disenfranchised Latino And the disenfranchised women and girlfriends that want to join us, especially if you're short, but if you're tall, you're welcome, must unite. If there are disenfranchised blacks that want to join us, fine, but they have their own peoples. And even though some women sizing me up to see if I'm wide enough to fuck, slurp, 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 have I made my point clear? Once they find out what I really am, that I'm not all white, they're like, well, good luck with all that. Here's your book back. With no apologies. And so there has been massive arguments with certain people, just so you know, who told me that I'm being political for saying, please say Afghan lives matter. And that then will turn into an argument where I'm yelling, and there's a back and forth. Why, if I say certain lives matter, why can't there be a reciprocation? And so if I ever was to move in with someone, we would literally have to talk to each other at minimum, unless it was a major situation for like, say, 3 or 4 hours on video Skype like this. And then we go back and forth on whether we agree or not on things. And then if we disagree, we see if we can get out of the argument. The problem is when you don't have your own place is people change and solar flares come. And when people don't believe that people are going to get upset with the solar flares or whatnot, or realize that they will be extra sensitive. And some people have issues with perceiving things that are not real. One of the English words that's used for this, although there's going to be different words for it, is hallucinations. And we'll just leave it at that. And so what are hallucinations, and what are the different types of hallucinations? There's visual hallucinations, there's audio hallucinations, and do mass amounts of populations have hallucinations now because of the magnetic field? And did I tell you about hallucinations and solar storms? How long have I been talking about hallucinations, not voice to skull technology, but the archonic interference and solar flares for a long ass time? And so I need to get somewhere safe that is either super urban where somebody has money and extra room, and I go to work on my videos and try to get a job in the actual radio market. I need someone to maybe be an ambassador for me to help me because I have no real social skills to improve my life. I'm just an artist, basically, to help be a representative for me to get me on shows. We can admit or say I am mentally ill on a level because the trauma that I've been through, and it handicaps me from taking my golden egg info and basically getting enough to basically afford some Burger King food. So let's talk about Gypsy. You need to, Fox, Rose, if you need to say something. She said she was child trafficked for 7 years. So many people are okay with it all. Yes, they are here. The women are okay with it here. I became clean and no friends currently. You also said you're on methadone, so you got off heroin. And I don't know if you know that I got off heroin. Because you're boring. Some boring's good, some boring's bad. Not all people with no friends are the problem. When it comes to my mom, I don't necessarily believe it's always her fault, but I don't believe that she is agreeable. My mother and I have mere mental health problems, but she has never been mature enough to talk about hereditary. She is only able to be honest enough to talk about hereditary and to fill my minds with fear of skin cancer, but she will not acknowledge the possibility that she is a professional uber nutbag who passed on to me, by being her son, all types of shit. And she's really crazy. Okay, I'm not being mean when I say that when she visited me, she looked like a clown. And I became convinced that they took her and replaced her. It's still the same her, but her memories are really awkward. She has forgotten a lot. She doesn't seem to perceive that she threw me away at 14, which I found to be shocking. At that point, I cut off ties with her. I thought that it was really unusual to come all the way from New York because you wanted to pet the ponies or something because of lockdowns. Oh my God. I'll take post-COVID trips to anywhere just to do something for $500, Alex. Ding, ding, ding. Oh God. Talk about entitlement. These people that went through the lockdown, I'm not talking about you, I don't know you. It was the only thing that they ever faced that was related to New World Order or oppression. So a lot of people became radicalized in the fake news web because they made it that way on COVID. Oh, you don't like being locked down? Well, here's the conspiracy theories that we're going to show you. And then people would go and be like, "Oh yeah, it's 5G." Boing boing. No, bro, it's not 5G. You're a fucking retard, David Icke. Oh my god, dude, get the fuck out of here. And then one person who was a female who's like, "I will so let you stay with me," because I didn't believe her conspiracy theory. She left my Patreon. She gave me her number, but she never ever did anything to establish kind words. I believe the name was Sugar Seas. And then I looked at her channel um, last year, and she was saying that all birds are robots and shit. And so the vast majority of people that are bona fide conspiracy fucktards that are females that might come at me because I think that maybe I have a sexual ooze, which they would be right. They're just looking for a loosh. If they're pretending to like me, and there are a lot of women that will donate straight cash in the past before I got really deep and smart, thinking that it would lead me to think that they might be my mommy. Okay? Now, if somebody wants me to feel sorry for them and talk to them, then there is a way to do, what's called foreplay. I'm using that word as a metaphor, to where you're kind to someone, you get the ball rolling, then you dump onto them. Know what I mean? I'm not talking about you per se, but I'll have to read your comments. A lot of people, they don't take the time to talk privately about deep-seated issues. The chatbot thing, although it's fine now, hardly anybody will watch this, and that's why you're commenting. Only 20 people, over 44 people will eventually watch this, but it'll take a week or two. I need quality marijuana. I have massive expenses that are associated to automobile accidents and uninsured insurance, and my car might die. I need you to know that everything that I work for is being taken from me. It seems monetarily. This place will evaporate, this metro, all of your finances. It will either go to gas, insurance, and because of the depression and the lack of love, the desire for coffee, junk food, tacos, repeated trips to the grocery store to start screaming and shit, it's draining me, but I also feel like a superstar. Okay. Going back. She said her mom trafficked her. Okay, so this is, if you want me to share your story, for example, or talk about it, read it on YouTube, then you can type it coherently as much as possible and I'll consider it. Because if you're telling me as a female that you were trafficked by your mom, oh my God, that means that there is like complete, let's steer away from calling everything demonic, stupidity amongst a lot of women that don't know that there is a dark side that exists within the female gender. And they admittedly like bad boys here. And basically, I can't tell you that Portland's better though. The only reason I'm bitching so much about this place more than others is because I look at the local news and I'm here. They've been making constant eye contact with me from the kitchen. Now, I don't know what all is going on with them, but their hottest girl here, who's the hottest girl in town, I gave her my card. And I just told them I was famous. Leave it at that. But see, I don't know if she actually came to the channel and started to actually hear what I'm saying. But she looked to me like a person that was generally pretty on the inside. Not like pretty on the outside, like Subject X, but a hollow, fearful shell of me on the inside. But this person was legit. So that's torturing me inside, not knowing that the woman that I came to have a crush on has already thrown me away. And I think that's really fucked up for a dude like me at my age who can easily be berated for, I hate to say the word crush because I feel like I was berated for admitting that I had a crush. And it created a rift at home. And I can't take it back. What's done is done. The accident is done. What's done is done. And I am not a rich man. And so by me having mental problems during solar flares and being so broke, even if I have insurance, in this region, accidents are so common because of solar flares, because of stupidity, because of cell phones, and so many people die here every hour of every day from DUIs. And so many news stories are about people murdering people with DUIs and then running. This is evil on par with New York City and Los Angeles in murder rates per capita, or it's higher here. Here. And so because it's murder rape central, where the little girls get taken and they take them downtown and the cops don't go to certain zones to rescue the girls. Here. They literally have the traffickers in the system here. There's stories about cops being busted, pulling down their pants or doing whatever, or acting inappropriate, but they won't tell us what they did when they're supposedly supposed to bust human trafficking operations. So what they'll do is they'll go to entrap. That's what that happened. They'll go to entrap to bust them, and in fact, they'll have them go all the way. In other words, and there's a point here, the officer will lose his composure. In other words, is it really something that should be illegal for people to, in a legal sense, to prevent human trafficking, have a financial exchange, to have a hand job? No, I'm going to talk about this hand job thing. As a mostly abstinent person, the most spiritual thing that a female can do for a man if they're being sexual, and they're not going to go all the way, is a hand job done with love in a particular technique that is not violent, that is not malicious, that wants to, with the hand energy, clear out the gunk in the root chakra. Did I make myself clear? Not a bunch of slapping and no, like love. Your life matters. If you want to get slapped in the face or slapped in the face, of course now one person stop watching, because I'm speaking at a level that's spiritual. Oh, they're back. If people want to be kinky, I say awesome things to your lover when you slap them. I slap nobody, and nobody slaps me. I'm not into that stuff, but I would like a partner, right, to make love to. Somebody stopped watching. Now they're gone because they couldn't handle that. Humans that have partial monkey genes naturally like ooga booga behaviors, even if they will disrespect, hate, and deny. That's the way they are. Modern women that incarnated, they have no morality, that come across this gangbang porn. Now we're at 4. They might see a video of not one schlong, not 2 schlongs, but 50 and go, God, I'm so glad to be on earth. And then we'll do everything in their power, but most of them will fail to actually get that gangbang in a healthy way. So they end up in what? Porn, which is what? Not love. Where what? Abuse takes place. So let's talk about Gypsy, because she has a lot of comments here. And so I'm just telling you that I'm very sensitive to the nightmares that women live in that are raped behind closed doors. And I see the brutality of women being beat up as a psychic, and I feel hated by women at the same time, and I'm not crazy. Meaning, we're in hell. There's no other. Programming is a theory, but doesn't really explain why all the women seem to hate me. And there's jealousy also with women when you get close to them, and you want other women in your life as friends to help deal with the obscene amount of trauma that was infused into me through my mother. Also, modern women seem to have a negative bias where if they hear that a mother did abuse, they seem to be assumptuous, that the man is too broken to be talked to, that he might be planning the murder or rape other women because of what mommy did. And that's really sad. If people assume that I'm like the super state killers. One time I was out here outside the Burger King and I drove by and a little kid started freaking out and pointing at my car going, ah! You know what I was thinking, right? That boy ain't no angel. You know who I am. Oh my God, it's him. It's an angel. Run for your life. And the dad's like, what? Who are you? People that aren't spiritual, that don't know about that stuff, they'll never understand why a dog would freak out at a totally kind man. So I visited a guy named Terry up in Pagosa Springs who lived by himself, who had a dog, who had mental problems, who was abused. And he would constantly say that there were problems with me, because every time I would go and hang out with him, his dog would bark obsessively. And he kept saying that something was wrong with me because I was anxious and it was my fault. What I believe is that the Muslims aren't all crazy if you get out their anti-American out of the way. Like they shouldn't be hating all Americans for not being Muslim if they weren't a part of the war. They should like us. Desert Rock should like me. I'm not sure what Saudi Arabian hellhole he's in, but he certainly hates Americans and our way of life. He certainly hates freedom. It hurts, guys, for Muslims to keep such a strong distance from me to go haram, haram. So I refuse to. I need to be careful about defending them now if they're like that. You know what I mean? And it makes me scared. I feel like I can't censor myself. Everybody should know what my heritage is. And that people are radicalized, and my last name could get me killed because of the terrorist cells that use it. Every one of you was already told this, but you have memory loss but don't know it. And you're not always told this every week. The group in the Houthis in Yemen, they're using the surname without the Y. Ansar, or you do a little Google search, get a little education tonight. New tab, the fuck? First 5 letters of my last name. Now go. See what I'm talking about, Gypsy? That's not normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. And I am too deep for them. And so when I talk about my last name and I talk about terrorist groups using the last name, yeah, Gypsy. Not the full, but the first 5 letters, right? So you know the name. Don't say it here because this is, I told you, this is channel 2 where we don't do names. But if you know the spiritual podcast channel, which is the main channel, right? That's the name. My name. Duh. You're not smoking weed right now, right? Methadone. Oh, I got it. You got the name. The name? My last name. Yeah, you got it, kid. You see? I'm too deep for you. I'm too quick for you. And see, that is what makes me look like a dangerous man. That I'm shouting and screaming, going faster, faster, faster. When you people need to get me with Tyson so I can get the money, beat his ass, and show you that I'm king. We need to let what I just said sink in for the people that are here going, what? I'm a badass, is what I'm saying. I'm really like boom, 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 boom. I am way more talented than what society's giving. In other words, what this translates to, for those that are still not getting it, oh my God, dude, you really need it spelled out for you. I could make you rich if I had a real business partner who knew what 2 + 2 equal, which I've never had, who wanted to grow an income. Ever heard of it? There are certain things that you do. My grandma worked with my grandpa, and that's how they end up with 40 acres. You know what I mean? They worked together. Now, there was a resentment over my grandpa having my grandma work, but it was because of their work. And free money from the government for the white men after World War II. People want free stuff. Now we have to address that. Plenty of white men were given shitloads of free land after World War II. Fast forward to the era of more brown people in the country, they want free stuff. No, they want their teeth to stop rotting. They want free stuff. No, they want health care, actually. The reality is my grandpa was given free stuff. The reality is there was the Land Farm Act of 1944, 1945, and then they had basically the buildup of the population, and then you guys are smart enough to realize what happened. The appliances, the baby boom. I'm not completely knocking it. I'm saying my grandpa benefited from being a white American in 1945 and going to Japan. He spoiled those kids rotten. So I'm going to finish what I said about Bruce. I wanted him to be a surrogate dad. I wanted him to hug me. I wanted him to love me. I wanted him to take me fishing. I wanted him to take me camping. I wanted him to do my buddy. And all he did is try to get me to kill myself with methamphetamines. The only time I ever touched myself in the rear end out of experimentation. What is this thing? Why are so many people into this crazy shit in Portland? Is because I made the mistake of 1999 of slamming that shit and thought I would experiment. What is, oh God, that's, oh my God, bro. And then I went nuts for 10 hours riding my bike all over Portland looking for drugs. And so many people get into that exploration of kink or rear end stuff. What is this? Oh my God, that's disgusting. Only somebody possessed by a fucking demon or an entity would even think to explore that shit. And so I started going deeper down the rabbit. Oh, you people are fucking demons. And I became very awake that these demons are in the drugs or in the bodies promoting the. And then my mom showed that she had no intelligence for thinking that I would be on par for doing heroin. And then Bruce was a meth head. Heroin is for trauma victims and child trafficking victims and rape. You, Gypsy. Whereas meth's like, demon shit, demon time, hallucinations, dark dimensions. It's horrifying. Meth heads are capable of extreme murder, whereas heroin, it's like pathetic crimes to get a hit just to stop the tears. You know what I mean? Or the shakes. All right. She said her mom sold her, and I'm 44. You asked how old I am. I'm interested in what you have to say, your predictions. Okay. Gypsy Rose, you're probably already on Substack, right? Yes. I'm going to write a prediction blog. I will send you 40. I wish I can do more. 40 will afford me 80% of a hotel cost, but it's not really in my favor to do a hotel. I'm not 100% broke, and it's not really about the money. I'll accept your money, but do not send the donation if you can use the money for something personal. I can make do if you're short. Only send it if you have extra. That goes for the rest of you. Now, if you're local and you want to help me, I was never trying to finagle my way into your bedroom. But every single person that I'm going to repeat myself, that I've given my card to will not come to the channel. And it's also mental illness that people think that they're being slandered if I'm referring to people that I feel have harmed my feelings. When I never mention someone's given birth name and I use either a stage name or reference somebody, I'm not slandering them. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna I'm gonna leave and get back to you, Gypsy, in a coming pod. I don't know if I need to leave right now, the house, but I'm telling you that it's a possibility. It might actually be more frugal for me to drink myself to sleep with a sleeping bag for $15 at the park rather than to get a hotel. I don't really want to drink, but the fact of the matter is, drinking can be medicinal if you keep it to the IPA and you limit your drinking. I'm not a drink all night type of person. That's Ryan McPherson shit. Oh my God, we need more beer. Let's go drive drunk to the store for more cheap beer. Hey, bro, that sounds wonderful. Again, how do you know you're dealing with white supremacy when you tell the white woman that her white husband is an alcoholic and he could get us killed? And then she's like, oh no, you will not say shit about my husband. That's when you're dealing with white supremacy. When you're trying to help the white woman keep her white husband not being alcoholic, that's when you're dealing with white supremacy. And so that really hurt to know people off the grid. So if you pick up on the fact that I'm scared of you or that I have issues or anger, it has to do with 44 years of dealing with demons, dealing with child abuse, and never having Molly, never having marijuana, never having to drink with a beautiful woman or a beautiful man. I'm straight. But there are some very ugly men here. I have never seen, like, they're calmer. Portland men are douchebags. They're dickheads. These people are just nobodies who don't want to know what God is, who don't want to know about predictions, who don't want to believe. They just have demon-faced scouts. None of these men have any value. That's why they have women. If you have any value as a man, you will not even be looked at with a smile. They'll know that you're right about what's coming to the planet. They like tweakers and shit. Seeing so many people go for the goth tweaker in my lifetime, being from Portland, has also illuminated me to the nature of people that just like nastiness and things that are dirty and people that are dirty. There's actually a female at the coffee shop over here. Her cell phone said, I like it dirty. The second I saw that, I ended my podcast and got the out of there. All I got from her was that dirty glare and look, which is all I need to know when I'm dealing with a servant of Satan. Understand? I'm the one down in a hole feeling so small. Understand? I'm the one who's lost my land, who never had a girlfriend when I owned my own land. Understand? It's rational for me to look at these Nazis and go, what has become of you? So they shove their face full of these poisons and it's destroying them from the inside out. Nobody here believes that my life matters. I am authorized to be pissed. I am authorized to megaphone this place like Alex Jones and call out this KKK frequency everywhere I go. Because nobody believes really all lives matter here. They just say that to not look super evil. These Latinas never once told me to pipe down. God bless their souls. This would not fly at Starbucks. They took me and left the traffickers. You can email me the details because there's no way we can flush it out in a chat bot. The emotions that you're sharing with everybody. And I'm going to make sure that your words are seen by everybody so they can send you love. So let's make sure the live chat replay is on. So the women can see that you are real. You're a real female. You were trafficked. These things happen. You're being nice to me. And a lot of women that haven't been trafficked, haven't been kidnapped, They don't even care about that shit. And Gypsy seems to understand, don't you, that some women, not you, don't care about you being trafficked, like your mom. Isn't that true? And so you support me then calling out the dark side then of people that don't give a fuck. Then you probably understand then that I'm probably crazy. Well, it'd be nice then if I think it matters that the evil women don't like me. It's probably a good thing if women that don't like good men exposing things from the psychic plane perspective don't want to talk to me. Because then you get people with demonic attachments that they never wanted to clear out. And so what black people need to know is this. The woke movement was made up to pretend they rose above their slavery past. They made up the woke movement to do black Americans that things move forward. They're going to move things back to the way they were in a couple of years if they kill me and others. All right? Just for they need to prepare their kids and tell their kids, get off that phone. That phone's trying to get you to be hateful, go to jail and stuff. They are putting stuff on those phones to get these kids in jail and to hate people because of China, Russia, and demons run the algorithm. Trump hates Latinos. Don't you ever forget that. The people that voted for Trump hate Latinos. They are a part of an ethno-state sexual fantasy. They want to break up the Latino community. They want to break up everything and mix all the races up and act like we're not racist. So they break up our love for each other. So when you separate the people, and I'm mixed race, so I know what they did to me. When the Amazon and Prime goes, you get with this, you get with this, you get with this, and you leave your people. When you argue, there's no empathy and people call the cops. There's no empathy when you're dealing with people that aren't your own people and you get into, whatever with people that are on Netflix. And so many people are influenced by TV. And so I'm convinced these corporations are going to be ruled by the Dajjal one day. He's going to come for us. They'll all fuse them into one force. Walmart, Starbucks, McDonald's, BK187, CK187, on and on and on. I feel ill every time I eat this food. And I hate myself when it's over because I'm poor. I hate myself because I'm poor. And women hate me, so I hate myself more. Because women hate me because I'm short, not black, not white, but brown and tan and ugly. But yet I predict the mass trafficking of white women in the future because I'm a prophet. Then why would I want to have friends if I'm not living in a hornet's nest of demons? All I'm asking for is a rational explanation why nobody will take my card and come to my channel when I'm giving you the news before it happens, unless I'm dealing with people that are on his side. I'm trying to challenge people to think about why they're so apathetic and subservient to alpha male draconian systems of genocide and white supremacy. It's pro-white, not anti-white, to call out white supremacy. Modern white people are told that if you hear about white supremacy, they're against you. Talk about mental illness that's not yet diagnosed. If you're talking about black on white violence, somebody might think they don't like black people. Talk about undiagnosed. We have to address all the apathy in order to allow our people to grow. So Gypsy Fox, who's been trafficked, who's talking to me, says, I appreciate the people here listening to me. Understand that I give my life for you like Jesus. And he's not the only one who came back to the earth. Terminator says, I'll be back. What is it about us that we like the fiction? Well, he says he'll be back. But real people, they can't come back. But I like the movie. 2025 countdown on YouTube. YouTube.com/@2025 countdown. I care about all the world's people, but I don't believe the media does. What a nice manager. No, I am mixed race. And then my parents hate each other so much because they're racist that they took out their racism on me. And then God woke me up through my parents. By my parents being Middle Eastern and white and showing that there were demons and lust who only brought me in the world to torture me. I know the nature of the disco age and the 80s and the 90s and the pop culture. Their social engineering our enslavement. Racial tensions, human trafficking. They created it. You ever heard that song, Touch Me, from the 80s? It's pro-molestation. Now, when I listen to Van Halen, I hate those lyrics of how they bastardized the woman and treat her like an object. I thought the 80s were innocent. 80s were evil. Women are not property. And women that don't like me for saying that they're not property are demons. Because no one normal who likes God would dislike someone saying that you're not property and your life matters. You speak English by chance? I just thought I would check. And that's not a question for Latinos. That's a question for white folks. You speak English? You check the news lately. 4 terror attacks by your own Johnny Appleseeds in 24 hours. Yet they want you to hate the Muslims. Isn't that interesting? Put them on the glass. I am the original comedian of comedians. But it's because of the real racism that the woke movement won't discuss that I'm not in Vegas doing a show. This talk shouldn't be done here, but on a stage with 1 million people. So you need to know that Antichrist is here, is alive, and will stop any man on earth from telling you what's coming. China's coming. Russia's coming. Your grid's going down. Enjoy your meal because this will be a memory. And people will sell their kids to eat flesh. Okay? We are so dependent on these trucks. And the sun is so powerful now. Check out the crime news for the last 24 hours. And then look at the solar flares. All right? And then, well, I know that I'm not ugly, but I don't take care of myself at a level to be attractive to local chicks. And because I'm mixed race, I can't flow into any group. And no one's mixed race here. Everybody's stuck with their own people. So I'm asked out because of everyone's racism. It's not my voice. What do you think I'm doing talking to nobody on a laptop? I'm hated. What do you think's going on here? When you have your own people, you're not hated. I'm going to leave now before they kick me out. I caused an accident tonight, and someone's angry with me. It was an accident. And I have lost all my money to fast food, accidents, teeth, and synthetic marijuana. That is fucking with my memory. I argue with my audience for talking to me about marijuana psychosis and think that they're trolling me. And then I flip the script and not attack, but berate these people that act like this shit's fucking innocent. And I scream at them and I say, bro, I'm in withdrawal because I'm fucking losing my fucking mind and shit. I fucking hate this shit, man. It's cold out, Gypsy. It's so cold here. Just talking about the weather. I'm going to go leave and yell again at the grocery store. No, I looked at the lesbian at Kroger. And I'm telepathing that I'm coming to give you my card. You're like, okay, I'm coming for you. No, I'm coming to give you my card. And she usually makes the overt eye contact, but this time, because I'm sending out the telepath message that I'm coming to inform you, she's like, what it is, I walked into that place going, 9/11 was an inside, like screaming, driving by in my car. Full volume, you know I can yell, right? Yeah. You know that me yelling, though, in real life, without the microphone, it's way louder. Just in case you didn't know that. You probably should. Like, what's it actually sound like? Well, it sounds like a dude screaming. Like, I don't even know of a dude that sounds more masculine than me as far as the yell. You know what I mean? Like the yelling that I have, if someone doesn't see that I'm small and I'm yelling through a megaphone, I believe that it can scare a group of armed people. They're not going to be so kind. If you say certain that, furthermore, if you're ending up in a gang attack and you have to fight for your life, remember, you need to learn how to talk your way out of situations too. And so there could be a situation where you can't fight them all, but you're going to go down. You want to go down fighting and talking truth. And you would want to influence them to stop beating you to death. So you might go on a certain route if you're like me and you can't predict certain things by talking about the future that you did predict, getting their interest, and then talking about the future that's coming. Telling them that they're going to reincarnate as radiated mutants and they're going to end up raped by robots. as you just completely like fill their mind with every single horrible thing that's going to happen to them when they're reborn on the earth, maybe they'll think twice about stomping you on the ground. Maybe they'll think twice about raping you. Maybe they'll just let you go. You see, and there are these times you start praising Jesus Christ and jumping up and down. And then if you're able to be psychic and get inside your mind, then maybe you can say things that they would be in support of. You know what I mean? I remember talking to the A-man once about, like, if you're in a situation, run your mouth or something, talk. And he's like, no. And that's true. That won't necessarily save you. But being a very fast, on your feet, verbal fighter, zinging people will cause people to lose confidence, which will cause them to lose confidence in their swings. Now, for women getting hit, just understand, I told you many times, men are stronger and hit harder during solar maximum. I don't recall filming my heavy bag workout yesterday, but when I did my front kick, I kick and do a double strike, kick strike, it went boom, and it just created like a ripple effect. Whatever I'm doing with the bag sends out a ripple that the people on the hamster wheels are like, what's going on? I've never sensed such what? So whatever is happening with me with the heavy bag, which aspects my audience I don't think really appreciate, because you're not really, it's just not their bag. It doesn't mix well with conspiracy folks, but again, it's awkward bedfellows that they claim to be militant and like Chris Kyle or something, and Alex Jones. So you have a lot of fast food junkies in the conspiracy movement that don't actually grow their own food, learn about health and nutrition, but buy like AMTV products, InfoWars products, and don't actually try new products till Alex Jones tells them to try new products. They're generally not well. One person just left, but that could be a person who doesn't have the IQ to realize that there's a difference, but they may have had to leave, between fake conspiracies, not having apathy. Most people don't realize that there is an Antichrist evil force trying to create fake conspiracies, get people to conspiracies that they control. And so if you're dealing with ufology people, they can't handle the reality of demons creating fake news. You're not dealing with real paranormal researchers, but more tools. Remember, there's plenty of people that are being possessed and manipulated by the archons that are pushing ascended master content. Chosen ones, I don't know, but there is a perception that. Now, somebody told me that a certain somebody was crazy, who said things to me that I thought were hurtful. And I'm just going to say that I defended that person and said that even though you're showing signs of this, I think that you're being attacked and that your living situation is making you ill. I don't want to think of you as demon, crazy, witch, this, that, and the other, temptress. I don't want to think that you're evil. I want to think that you secretly like me as a soul and that you're not really trying to berate me for being old and ugly. All right? I don't like people talking to me like I'm an ugly pervo. That really hurt my feelings. Cult leader? Haram dweller? I'm sorry? So, Gypsy Rose, like the current engagement, and see, I can't really talk to that anymore, or I can get taken out by the New World Order. See, threats also hurt. It's not so much the actual threat, it's saying, even going in that direction of, I'm going to threaten you. You could just be nice and say, you need to delete that, which I did. But I didn't think that I put a name on it. I thought that I just showed how could someone be sued in the court of law in the UK if you're just showing a message that doesn't even reveal personal data? Now, at that point, I just was mind-fucking that for a long time. How could the government destroy my life just because I'm showing that somebody has an inaccurate view of my work or understanding or is appalled by my statements and understand why I would say such a thing, that all women hate me? I'm challenging women that don't hate me to find me and say, you're not hated, and this is why. Your life matters, and those people matter, and they shouldn't have done that event to blame on those people. Alex Jones won't do that. Tony Sawyers won't do that. So it's rational if I see people that are tapped into that pipeline for them to be receiving archonic interference from those streams of consciousness. Aaron Doherty, those that may watch Till Swan, Ralph Smart, and other people that are saying, don't criticize the evil in human consciousness. They're just bad people. That's just confusing people, especially if they could be human trafficking victims. People that are human trafficking victims or could have been human trafficking victims should be criticizing both men and women for not giving a fuck about their white ass or brown ass that put on makeup to look like. And so men and women are garbage, actually, to a woman who may have been human trafficked in reality because they don't care about her ass. How many women are going to help out a human trafficking victim so she doesn't have to sleep with a douchebag who's trying to use her? You see? So there's a lot that mainstream women can do to fight human trafficking. And of course, there's that truth that you see in domestic violence shelters that they're always going back to their abusers. What would it be in nature that God or the devil did to us? That people that are rescued from domestic violence situations, I love this song. This is my theme song for leaving Portland, Oregon. Leaving hell for another hell. Leaving McDonald's for Burger King. Because sometimes you need to try a new drink. Running with the night. I want to give somebody a hug right now, but I'm afraid. I want to drink. I have to drink. I just know there's a family of four. Didn't even know they were sitting there. Well, guess what? Younger people are often way more psychic than their adults. The reason why young people often are more psychic to what I'm saying is the older you get in the society, the colder you get. When you come into this world and you're young, you have a natural goodness to you that has not yet been breeded out by your programmers and your handlers. So you have a purity and you must be protected. And so the parents that are evil versus the parents that are good are the ones that are not telling the truth about the direction this nation is going. And the types of dangers that may befall upon a little one when 2045 comes. And we won't talk again about what's coming, but you got it. So younger people will often, but many teachers in the school system do bad things. Bad people that have bad intentions are often allowed to have access to children because of the unfortunate demonic influence here on the earth. And so people that should be teachers, I should be writing children's books, but I'm so ranty, I can't focus. My goal is to write children's books for adults, for the adults and the kids, to break what I'm saying in my books about the solar flare influence over wars, World War III, human trafficking, bullying, and break it down to a level where people that are slow can understand it. I'm a genius. And this society is so racist and white supremacist under the KKK that it has destroyed my life for trying to help white people. Unfortunately, bias is so strong, people may not trust you if you're not in their tribal structure, if you look too different. But yet, if you're psychic and you call it out for what it is, they'll think that you're an a-hole. So you just can't win. So what do? You have to flee the evil cities before the strike from China and Russia comes. Donald Trump is inferior to me because before he was even on the scene, I warned of China, I warned of Iran, I warned of these things, and Portland, Oregon scumbags made me homeless. Portland is not anti-racist, it's way more racist than this place, and that's saying something. These people are better here as much as they than Portlanders. Trump was right about Portland on a level, but I am the genius at why it's really a shithole. I like to joke about Trump spying on me because I'm so smart, but it's probably not a joke to be spied on by the federal government. But remember, everything's going into an AI algorithm where they can pull up everything, flag, and go, this guy. I'm having stomach cramps again. Nobody can say it's coffee. I'm having stomach cramps and arguments about what's wrong with me. I need to be evacuated. Time to check emails and report back there's no emails after 3 hours of talking. So there are no emails at Magic Shift 333. Got it. Set in a calm tone without screaming at you and using new statements. No evidence anyone is trying to save my life from homicide or damnation. Got it. Nobody at the emails. Let's try email number 2. So we've been talking about this, folks, for 3 hours. Do not demystify why I get angrier and angrier and angrier, and the quantity of the videos on the same exact topic increase and increase. In fact, if I could make multiple videos at the same time, talking about this topic at the same time, I'd save myself some time. But I don't know how that's physically possible. But that's the only step to go now. I'm such a genius. I'm such a jock. I'm such a man of God that I can speak truth to power constantly, even when I'm croaking, dying on my deathbed. The truth don't stop. Train kept it rolling all night long. Chain kept it rolling all night long. Chain kept it rolling. This is a cocaine-free show. This is solar flare inspired. I hate this song. You don't have to email me now, Gypsy. And for those that are listening, when I am talking in general and someone in the chat, I'm not necessarily talking to the chat person. If I'm saying I don't see an email, I've been asking for people to contact me and communicate with me about what they like about me, what they want to hear more for a very, very, very long time. And there must be some sort of demonic force that attacks your brain for even thinking to send me life. I said that to everybody. I didn't say that only to Gypsy Brothers. The level of intuition that I feel that my mother has, the level of intuition that I feel that my mother has regarding these things isn't high, but she has intuition. Don't go there, don't go there, don't go there, don't. But intuition regarding what I know about the sun, race, and her family, no goes on. And so psychic phenomena is really finicky. You know what I mean? And psychics. We understand, including myself, it's genetic. We understand a certain amount of things, and then there's a drop off where we know nothing, and it's just a room of darkness. And I think that that's God's way of making sure that we don't rule the world with our powers. And the whole thing about in the Bible, sorcery will be struck down, I think is the misuse of the powers of the mind, which is basically what's happening here on the earth. Witchcraft. And so there's a difference between like mainstream witchcraft, which is going on the internet, fake news, using makeup to cover the authentic self, witchcraft, filters, witchcraft. Pretending to be something that you're not, witchcraft, temptress. Have you heard this term? It's a beautiful term and very accurate for a lot of people. Temptress. Temptress. You should Google it. Temptress. It's a very good word. Describe way more people than you would ever know. Temptress. Temptress. Also harem dweller. A lot of them here on the earth. Then some people will false flag people that aren't that just to harm their self-esteem. So you stop fighting human trafficking and just go away. And that's probably the worst thing you can do if you ever claim to be a human trafficking victim. It's a sign you've turned into a demon. And I'm telling you over and over, that's not on your permanent record. So stop being offended. Stop being a demon cunt. Be nice. Say my heritage matters. Did I not say your heritage matters? East Indian mixed with this, then the other? Yes, I did. So if people think that I'm a woker, if people think I'm being political for saying, say my life matters, that's going to get me thinking that they actually don't believe that. I had a brief argument with an African-American woman at the Walmart, and I asked her if she was, I said, hey, Black Lives Matter, but to Afghan lives matter. And then she did that, and they always do it with that tone. So some of the black people are taking the white part lead. All lives matter. And they say it with this tone. All lives. Don't do that. Just because you hear other people that, don't do that. I started to do that last month. I stopped it. The people that go, all lives, don't actually believe that people that killed by the millions overseas matter. They're just retorting to the BLM. All lives matter is just a retort or a counter argument to BLM, which for some is a black supremacy program. Not all, because black lives do matter, but not just that. So that's why the woke movement is dangerous for black people, because they left out everybody. You know what I mean? And we're losing our women. And the black women are single. Do they know why? Because we're the dads, because the social engineers are putting the dads in jail and then telling the white women, you should only be with a black man. And so as they're young and they're seeing these, they're being told by the same system, waging wars and planning your future, these are the humans we want, and these humans we don't want. And so you can be this, that, and the other and have compassion and whatnot and be mixed race and prepare your children for tomorrow. The people that are saying, oh no, we're in the age of Aquarius, just because they're having powerful orgasms and thrusts with their buttocks. The only reason some of those couples are having wacky, wild sex, giving them orgasms typically only seen on the planet Mars, is because society said you have clearance and you will not be judged by your peers. In fact, you now have a status symbol. What do you think about that? And to make sure it's a status symbol, here's Amazon Prime, here's Netflix. 2 people just left. Because when they're exposed to the truth about morality, you have a decision to make. And if you continue down that same road of black and white supremacy, but really the fusion, you and the opposite force against us, you will find yourself in hell. And so people will stop watching me when I talk about things that they don't understand. You'd have to be mentally retarded to be half black, half white, think that I'm racist, I don't like you, or want to bang you, or hang out with you. That woman that works in the metaphysical shop. I'm saying that you are a dumbass, God. If you like men in the military that killed my people, and you don't realize that we haven't gone out of racism, a lot of people are getting way, way worse. And now the stories are starting to emerge of black teens being beat up by white teens because the white teens are on the cell phones too, and they're under mind control. And so they're seeing these racist things in comment sections, and they're not even beating up black thugs. They're beating up innocent black children that did nothing in most cases. And that's one thing you'll notice about the white supremacists when they get active. They'll mess with innocent people, but they won't go down to the brothers that are actual thugs. They won't run anti-human trafficking stings and do some damage to people that are taking their girlfriends. They'll look for some easy victim and play that collective punishment. And that collective punishment thought form is the Antichrist. Me being blamed for 9/11 just because where my dad was born is something only a demon would allow. And so in this city that's 99% demon, you got to run if you've got money. It's coming. It's coming. There is no way, if there is a God, that he is going to continue this region of all regions to continue to churn out family-less children that hate God and like dirty content. Now that's a combo. Dirty content online and hating God and being in poverty. That is a recipe for criminals. And so I can look at the crime in the news and go, I predicted that, 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 and nobody cares. That means they're on a highway to hell. Dan. AC/DC also says, get ready. The best song from AC/DC, my ultimate message. Get ready, because it's all going away. And that's love. That's God's love. Because why does it have to go away? Because we, the human species, must survive the alien demonic attack. And so the reason why you must not cry, honey, when it all goes away is because we are going to be restored to nature. We will protect our children. If you keep having a grid, you're going to keep being bombarded with family-destroying propaganda. And these women on these cell phones will never give decent people a chance. And see, they are responsible, a lot of them, for these accidents going on the freeway. Okay? They sit there, and so they've done something with these cell phones to give an artificially high amount of dopamine to the brain levels. And so the more people stare in these cell phones, they become different people. And I speculate that demons attack them through the cell phones to make them sick. So either karma and or the cell phone made a man sick and or human growth hormone abuse. Right? But because I'm smart and I'm psychic, I can talk about this guy who tried to lead me on the dark path, and he will never talk to me again for being deep. And then I'll ask the pendulum, is he watching this? Let's do it now. Is he watching this podcast? This is how it's done. Yes or no answers. And why would a supposed tough guy who collected from the mafia wouldn't be strong enough as a man to hear a man of God? Because he's going to hate my ass. The real reason, and I can't believe my mom doesn't talk to me about this. The real reason he threw me away is because I was spiritual. And he was all like, listen, you're on this heroin, you're on this smack. I like to bang women, drink alcohol, eat a nice meal. What's wrong with you? Okay, so you're a carnalist. You don't have emotions. You're Japanese. We know the stereotypical Japanese. Got it. Well, bro, I'm Pisces. I'm mixed race. I'm this, that, and the other. I'm hurting. And the woman that you were with played a massive role in that. And you never tried to talk about that. So anytime you talk to someone who's a partner, like a sex partner, or the person that created the interference to begin with, okay, well, a number of things could be said there, including they may have an agenda to fuck up the life of the son as a part of some demonic plan or program to get back at the families that bombed Japan. So a man was on the path of setting up a lot of his fake kids up for the joint. When he got me brass knuckles, when he got me alcohol, and I had girlfriends over, he didn't do the right thing to warn me, don't do this, don't do that. He gave me enough rope to hang myself. So a lot of women pick horrible boyfriends instead of husbands. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm talking about the news I'm reading. In the news, I'm reading all the time about these crazy-ass boyfriends that are killing the mother and the kid. Okay? A good man should have been given a chance with that woman. Why would she not give the good man who doesn't kill kids and rape little girls a chance? Because she didn't have the voice of God telling her right versus wrong. This is moral. This is immoral. So let's say, for example, you're dating a person that murdered people. Doesn't matter what the government said. Oh, you're a hero. No. Let's say he collected money. Let's say he smashed someone's face. Who knows what it is? That's monkeyish if that's attractive, if they're not teaching the kid anything. And so the complication with my mom is, even though she was spiritual, new age, worship the Pleiadian ships, if you're with a gangster, then you're not an authentic fairy. You have a carnalism for the bad boy, you see. And then if you continue that carnalism for the bad boy and you torture your innocent boy at the actions of thy father, what's really going on with that person? Many innocent little boys need to stop being abused by their moms and dads, but specifically moms. And then we get flipped over the other side, dad to female abuse. But right now there's a lot of daughter to dad abuse going on. Yep. Not all dads are bastards here. Some of them are great. Some of the young women that were born, they are the ones that for whatever reason, God said, you are to be born in this year. This is to be your home. And you are not to be born with a certain level of empathy. And that's a dangerous combo for today's day and age. Whereas you look at the 1950s, you look at the 1960s, there was youtube.com/2025countdown. youtube.com/2025countdown. @//@. TikTok is evil. TikTok is for the bad guys of China. Trump's defending TikTok. Trump's defending TikTok. Trump's defending TikTok. See, I told you he was with them. Meaning everybody that called me a snowflake all these years, threw me away, allowed this, are also with the human traffickers. Wow. So what does that mean? We're in a simulation. We are in the matrix. And when good men leave mainstream society and live off grid in the mountains like I did for 4 years, and they're not in the city to be protectors when a woman, then the situation becomes dangerous. I'm using clean language here, but on the internet, things are there that glamorize extreme bad boy behaviors. And so these young females that don't have good dads, they get on these phones and they're being groped and harmed in public schools, and the teachers are in on it. In Oregon, 10 teachers got fired for harming kids. 10 teachers, and the principal covered it up. I was right about those people. That's why I came here. At least this place doesn't have certain nightclubs right here to draw in those people to park here, which is why I remain here. Because it's a very rare, I hate it, but I like the fact that it's not popular with these hipster pieces of, because everywhere those leftist hipsters pieces of go, they F everything up, man. with these stupid little drinks. I'm glad there's no bars here. I'm a friggin' alcoholic in the making. You want to drink with me tonight? Huh? Why did I put this thing on my, why did I put this here? Why did I put this word thing called trust here? I'm ready to destroy this because I speak too much truth. My female friend yelled at me. So we have no, just take this and destroy it because we're a world without trust. I can't believe they let me do this podcast in here. They kicked me out of the mall. They threatened the cops on me. I told the police chief over here about what's coming. And a lot of these people, I don't hate all cops. They're about all themselves, job security. And they'll say, well, at least I'll have a job. But then when trafficking gets bad, at least I'll have a job. Bro, you cannot say stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, like, they're way better here, the cops in this, you know. But when you go 1 mile out and another mile out, when you get to the bigger town, the other town, you're dealing with, oh my God, bro. So as a psychic, I'm telling you, I can look at an apartment and go, you are, and those guys are hiding something. You're mostly okay. What's in your mind? It's like that. You don't need to leave. There's 9 here. I'm anticipating one of you is going to go, oh, but because I said that, you'll stay. People are getting awkward around me being right. And they're way too programmed by the matrix and negative self-esteem, negative affirmation talking points that they still think that it's demonic to be right. And it's not actually fully extreme psychic abilities for being super smart and a scientist, like a mathematician. Like what I know about the solar cycle is almost math. Now, what I determined was my mixed race combination of DNA made me a Superman, not inferior. And that's why this world's brainwashed. I'm a Superman. I'm just short. I'm a Superman. And if you don't know that certain mixed race people could save your ass from white genocide, oh, dude, you're so screwed. And so white people, my advice to them is stop thinking that you have to stay with your own people as far as information sources. Sexuality is one thing. But when it comes to information, it takes a village. And I'm tired of this society pushing Snoop Dogg on me. I'd like to knock him out with one punch. I'm so tired of that dude Snoop Dogg being platformed promoting marijuana in areas of this country where we can't get our life-saving medicine. Snoop Dogg is a piece of garbage, okay? And promoting gin and juice and music videos like that where, women are going into a room with a bunch of dudes and they show on the camera, they hold up the hand, and a bunch of you-know-what holds up in the hand. And they're telling me at 13 years old in 1993 that they're doing that stuff. And then they're implanting in Hollywood all these horrible things. And so little kids that don't know any better with kids having kids, they're sitting there on their phone with no parental supervision being led to homicide, human trafficking. And they're being taught things on their phone that you can watch anything at age 3 and be taught things that you would never learn at my age. Okay. And so what's coming with some of the young kids without good parents is massive crime waves in a few years. It's happening now. And then from there, you'll have race wars over who's to blame. The main role of her, who just got her family out of here, is to protect the mind control male from hearing too much. So she just now, in the last 2 minutes, was grabbing her kids, grabbing her man, and walking away. So I'm telling you, I might be homeless tonight because I was in an accident, on accident. You need to understand that I'm mental under solar flares. When I feel threatened, when I feel harmed, when I feel insulted, when I perceive that there are massive solar storms and false flags that are going boom, 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 I'm going to be yelling and screaming. And if I go into environments where like, bro, you keep yelling and screaming, you can't, it's going to happen though, when there's solar storms. The unresolved issues with my mother will continue to be brought up when there's solar storms. I'm a genius. And the amount of things that the average person can learn from me is beyond Thunderdome. Okay, I got to get a new slogan. I'm sweating. Should I get naked? I totally want to do porn. The problem with doing porn is demons. And I don't know anybody into spiritual porn. Don't tell them that. Well, anyway, I have thought in a parallel reality that I would invite some of the people to maybe create an account. And then we go on tour across America to various 24-hour fitnesses and we get on the restroom, we film it, go, see how easy it is, just travel around America with a mobile porn studio and just click and shoot. It would be unique. It would be art. They're doing it here. Now they're on a Mystic or Raw. And the thing is, like humans, and you saw a lot of this in the 70s and 80s, it was less graphic. And it's like I got an image with a bunch of people with a bunch of funny hats. That might be an old world Europe thing. Is that an old world Europe thing? To turn around naked with a bunch of hats and capes. Basically, sex is awesome, not bad. We went from life-giving, I love you, ooh, you're an ascended master, oh, look, you're a king, to you're a whore in a matter of. So the next step is people snuffing each other out through rape murder and racism, all mixed into one with new websites that'll pop up where people don't stop watching. And so I'm telling you about these things that are actually here now. And so while I'm saying that they're going to be doing that, watching it, they are now. I'm often talking about the future when it's now. But I'm saying I think there'll be more mainstream sites that are just out there. But it is now. But there's still checks and balances on a level, to YouTube, to TikTok. But a day may come to where the government system goes away and the old world of regulating adult content, like basically lots of real rape and murder film on video. And then you can be someone who's not dumbed down and be able to understand this is the path it is without being psychic. I think that you are handicapped if you do not know why and how the human trafficking epidemic is coming about. And you need a teacher. You need a guide. You need a real man who's a short guy to teach you what your supremacy ideology kept from you. And with that, please send love to my home situation so I don't become homeless. I have said complimentary things about people that have helped me. But unfortunately, when I yell and scream, I destroy everything that I worked for. And I'm told this cannot continue. And then things are said that I document and interpret to be attacks. And then the argument continues. And you see, without discussing what happened, I'm discussing solar flares. I have harmed nobody. But do I feel like I've been threatened by more than a few people? Because I'm just trying to find friends and community. Oh, yeah. And can I get extremely stressed and freak out and have a stomach issue? Like what I have going on is extreme pain, and I don't know what's going on. And I don't have any emails. Thank you for sending money, but you're married, and I need help, a phone call, a sister who's not already the property of another man. I don't need to hear your counter argument. I don't need to hear your kind of argument because it's coming. I don't need to talk to anybody who's property. People that do this, I'm not saying you. A lot of women declare their property of their husband, and it makes me sick. I don't give a fuck. A lot of people are like, I've got a husband. Here, they're a part of this matrix of, well, here comes another, a splitting image of the good-looking bank manager at Kroger who, when she sees me, knows to turn her back and look away and refuse to make eye contact. Now, do you think Gypsy, because she's a bank manager and she's constantly pressuring people to come to her bank, that there really is not going to be any hope with the bank manager? And the bank manager is always going to naturally judge me for judging her, for worshiping money and hating God. And there is that deep, deep sediment, and I don't want to be racist to Hispanics, but there is generational belief systems and cultural programming, right? And there is like certain cultural programming here that's anti-trying to help them. And so the sense is, and there they go with their Burger King hats. They made a contract with the devil to get them kidnapped. Oh, and then we have a Gypsy Rose here who said her mom did get her kidnapped, who admits we're all in hell. Your self-esteem is taking a huge hit. You are not hated. You are valuable. Your life matters. We're all in hell. I will email you by tomorrow. I will send money now. I will send 30. I'll send more in a few days if you need help. I hope I help some. My dad was the best. I appreciate people liking their dad as long as that's true. What I don't like is when people say their dad was the best, but they got people on meth or they raped their ex-wife. Anna Marie Nagel, who is the daughter of Bruce, said 2 years ago on Facebook when I was looking at her, I love my dad. He's the best. I don't want to knock down your win. And I'm thinking, this is the dude that invited Dawn over to do what he called a DP. Dan, 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 Dan. No. Ever done that? Gypsy? Hold your tongue. I think oh, you already told? Oh, Jesus. Just tell me what you want to tell me by email. I think that is evil. Certain types of things that, now, why did they make, oh, God, please, I'm sorry. Why? Why did they make the female body like that? Why did they do this to you? I hate women that hate me. I'm aware of what they did to you. How could women hate me locally when I know this stuff? They made the female to be super, like, able to be hurt or something. I don't know if I believe that gang wings are spiritual. I don't care how much you and I have watched on the internet. And the ones that I've been to were horrible in the real world. There was no love. It's a really bad energy. Now, can there be such a thing as a spiritual orgy amongst better people? Yes, but not in this world. You try to talk about like sharing your energy with more than one person and it being about a conscious grid of everybody's life mattering, and you're going to lose people. And then there's people in this world that will only want to be intimate when they're going for your crotch or, yeah, crotch. So that would go for you as female or male. But I do think that the best feeling when you're with someone nice, if they do it right, because if you're circumcised and a woman doesn't know how to handle it, it hurts. A woman needs instruction if she doesn't know what she's doing, how to properly do that to give it love without hurting it. And so basically, there's a lot of ways in which people are taught this in porno instead of two people getting together that may be underage. Oh, you do not need to stop watching. Knock that shit off. Not having sex, but touching each other. I refuse to believe that it's a sin for a woman to touch a man down there and give him a release. I think that it's authorized. But to be crazy and do it with random people, no. But develop a friendship with people, because when you connect like that in a way that feels better than the penetration of the vagina that may be dirty, when it's hand only and mutual, then I think that's my ancestry coming through that has the tantric knowledge and the Kama Sutra knowledge embedded within me. So I've never read anything about it. All that knowledge of intertransference, sexual healing, sex therapy is like a labyrinth that I want to explore with somebody. But right now I can only explore it through book. I'm not on any soft porn websites, just hardcore. So maybe I need to work on changing when I do look at shit, what I look at, and trying to re-explore what romance is about. Saying that what is romantic about a fucking internet connection? The truth is, why do people that are spiritual end up watching crazy shit? Because there's nothing spiritual by internet connection to sexuality. And so the reason why people, now one person left, oh, you feeling bad because you're a porn addict. Bye-bye, Sarah Jefferson. So an actual living schizophrenic scare doesn't mean think I'm calling out to her. We need a new name. Somebody say a female name. I'm drawing a blank. Susan. Oh, dude, don't say names of people that you knew. Susan. I like to blow all the guys in Portland, but you knew that, right? You know what? I got to go. Every man in Portland? Oh my God. Didn't I just French kiss you? Oh my God. Now, to me, the idea of doing every, schlong in town is like nasty. So what is actually going on with these modern humanoids that are going hop from block to block to block? What is really going on? I've screamed at a lot of people. I chased a truck or a vehicle with the tattoo that the alleged terrorist had on his arm. And I just drove behind him and he ran red lights to get away from me. I got up to about 80. I just kept screaming as I pointed at him, terrorist. And then he ran red lights and accelerated. And then when he ran the red light, I caught up with him. And then as I was driving behind him, I was honking my horn. For about 30 seconds. We had one person just leave. Sorry if my powerful prana of intensity of coming after a demon affected your energy, but I am a demon hunter. And I am sending you energy that attacks demons. And if you know that you are not actually getting rid of, because I don't want them here. I don't want those of you here that have not resolved your demons to stay. I want you gone. But I'm not going to assume that person was a demon just because they left. But the thing is, you can leave, but I'm still going to comment they left on that note. So when you're going to leave on a certain note, you might think, okay, I'm going to leave on a certain note. Maybe, okay, it's coming in. They're leaving on a good note, and I've got this all wrong. They're leaving on a good note, and then I'm misinterpreting them leaving on a good note as them not liking what I'm saying. Okay. So you need to understand this cell phone Wi-Fi connection between us being the only way that we connect puts us more in the dark regarding how we're feeling, processing feelings, solutions, and we're the furthest place that we have ever been in human history to prevent human trafficking. So you talked about these things, Gypsy Rose, that happened to you when you were, I'm assuming, younger. You're 50 now. So it sounds like you're talking about 1982, which I think about a lot. Is that right or wrong? I obsess on that year. Is that what happened? And so that was when I listened to the lyrics. You probably heard me ranting those age years, but was starting in 1982 to 1987. I'm into approximate details. And then from there, I give you an analysis of the energy of that time. So 9 to 15. So that's 6 years. So that's 1982 to 1988, if I did the math correctly. Anyways, those years were atrocious for women being treated like objects in social media. But unfortunately, modern day Satanist women hate me for exposing that because they benefit from human trafficking, from selling physical beauty that has nothing to do with the teachings of God. And so cell phones are used like masters to abuse men and throw them away, like they are objects, just to get back at things. Of course, you're going to look away. Of course, you're going to look away. So you people need to understand my angst. There's no one for me to talk to in the flesh that goes, you get it, man. You're on it. You know what I mean? Without giving you details. I don't have people in my world that believe that Afghan lives matter, that believe that Iraqi lives matter. This is the most racist, hateful place to Hispanics and brown people. And the white supremacy within the Latino community is beyond Thunderdome. Latinos that don't have real men making media about racism to Hispanics are asking for it. Hispanics that don't like people fighting racism in this community are asking for it. You have to back up good men. So he supports me, the manager. I know this energy. This is an energy of, oh, we've got a talker. Oh, I heard that. Oh, oh, this dude's different. Well, motherfucker, this motherfucker my Jesus. Well, I'm not Jesus, but I had coffee with him. He visited me last night in my room, and he said Said I had to ask out that girl to dance. Otherwise, the world would end. You remember that scene from Back to the Future? So you understand that this heavy, authoritarian, loud voice, manly voice has the power to make me homeless tonight. Whatever's going on with the energy shift happening has influenced those around me that I'm a dangerous nutbag. After they programmed me to have them delete all my emails from all the people in my past so that I couldn't reach out to people in my past for help after I was told none of them would ever help me. Unfortunately, she's still psychic enough to be telling me the truth that none of you will help me. So that kind of keeps me in a dependency situation to her. I can tell you how. It makes her right, which scares me. I don't want her to be right about none of you ever help me again because I'm old and ugly. But she and I are both right about a lot of you. Problem is, we're still going to clash because I am not a man that women respect on the earth. Sure, Gypsy Rose, who's married, who's already taken, who's older, you respect me, but you're also smart enough to realize, yeah, he's also talking about a younger demographic of people that aren't married. And so just in case you are a narcissist, we'll pretend you're not available. I am. Okay, so while I do talk to married women, the issue of single women treating me like I'm nothing because I'm short and tan and psychic is troublesome. Very, very, very troublesome and worrisome. All right? I wish I had my book here to show off, but I have a card I'm going to leave. But the sun is the driving force of these criminals doing these things. And if they had a real education school system without pervert teachers, they would be teaching in biology class human trafficking prevention. Okay? You're either going to teach human trafficking prevention or you're a part of it. And the fact is, these cops in downtown are working with the bad guys. The cops downtown are working with the bad guys that hurt the ladies. The bad guys and the cops, one force. You got it? Meaning in the future, you're going to have to rely on good men that can fight, like warriors like me, that don't believe in Satan and abusing women and guns. In other words, women that like men that have guns are into black magic. Whereas historically, we could hit the invader easily with one punch. But now everything is guns, steroids, drugs, MMA. We are being adulterated to being a mutant species. Reincarnation is real. Reincarnation is real. And in 50 years, there are going to be babies born monsters after World War III. I predicted the events that were in the news 24 hours in advance. That's not a small claim, and you should challenge me. Prove it. It's on the card here. Now, when someone's told that I proved the 4 terror attacks likely created by the government and Nazis, you got to check that out and challenge that. Oh, you're a liar, dude. Let me get your card. You're probably a piece of crap. I'm like, no, bro. I told you multiple times when are being attacked downtown and that they take the girls and they take them to a place downtown. And I watched a video last night by a Hispanic who claimed to be a family man who told the men on the internet where to go to get a woman. All right? An Hispanic man got on the internet last night and told all of us where to go to get her. That's evil. And any woman that wouldn't support me exposing evil men are with them. And so God has a plan to strike down this grid and houses that don't care about human trafficking victims. Now, what you do in your bedroom is have fun. Watch all the websites you want. Here's the gel. Here's the jelly. Here's the anal. Here's that. Have fun and film it. But don't you ever turn away what's happening to those kids. Because when you do that, I see you for who you are and where you're going after your time here on earth. The more apathetic you are, the richer you're going to be. The more love you have for women, the poorer you're going to be. And so this human trafficking nightmare that's coming involves many local lesbians, not you, but the ones at the market. Just because someone likes women doesn't mean that it's because daddy hurt them. The hardcore do everything for the woman matrix has sent so many humans in this direction of strip clubs and websites. The overabundance of non-binary and lesbianism is not an anti-trafficking, pro-woman, true feminist movement. It's part of the breakdown in the family, in the removal. What did I tell you 10 years ago? When you get rid of the good men that actually have souls from the cities, and you have the bad men coming in, you're going to have horrible things happen. The people of Portland, Oregon were so screwed up through white supremacy, and they hate Mexicans so bad in Oregon, so I think Portland should be destroyed. All right? Because I never met decent or pretty Latinas. These are the sexiest Latinas on earth here. They just won't see me as a human being, which is troublesome, because they're the hottest thing that's ever existed, some of them. I mean, the person I saw here is Latina. She's the prettiest woman I've ever seen. But if you try to compliment them and bring them to the real Jesus, they'll be like, you ain't tall enough. They won't say that, but that'll be the deal. God, man, what am I doing a podcast this long? These people are going to get me. What did my grandma tell me in 2004? You better be careful what you're saying about George Bush. She gonna get you. Grandma, he's not gonna get me. They're gonna get you. Grandma, you don't understand. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that the girls are listening. Everybody knows. So now I have this trauma in me about an accident and what it's going to cost me. But there were accusations that were said about me doing it on purpose. And so it's pretty clear that God's going to force me out. I just don't have the will and confidence right now to be homeless. I hope you understand me. And this is the way the devil works. The devil will dupe people into selling their land, selling their assets, moving across America. And then one day when the solar flares hit and they have an argument, they're asked out. Or the cops get called. And these cops here are very loosey-goose with regular people. But me, on the other hand, they like to look at me like somebody who might be a threat or something. You know what I mean? And that scares me. These police here in town have got to be up there with like the New York cop who walked by the woman who was lit on fire and just kept walking. He just kept walking. Now, that migrant who lit that woman on fire, what if they made him do that to create racism to Hispanics? What if demons influenced it to create racism to Hispanics and Arabs and Afghans and Muslims? They can attack someone to go do something violent. So the people at home go, oh my God, something must be done. My girlfriend's not working tonight. I'm joking. Hey, girlfriend, I gave her, the girl that works here, my card. All right. So if she wants dinner, she has it. But none of them care about what I have to say. But I'll be very happy. Very, very, very happy. All right. I should get out of here and stop harassing these people. But I like this Burger King more than Starbucks. Because at Starbucks, I start screaming and shit. I'm a psychic, so I'll pick up on these racists that hate us at Starbucks over here and yell when I'm doing my podcast. And they're like, oh my God, and they run away. They hear what I'm saying. They're like, the more you hear, the more he'll get inside your head. Just run. He's right, just run. God is real, we're the devil, just run. Because they know the more they hear, the more they're going to be responsible for doing the right thing. The lights are going out to help us. It's going to be troublesome, and there's going to be a lot of female ravishing when the grid goes out. So every woman needs a man. And in the end, you're going to have 10 females, one dude. If the dudes aren't good, they're going to have to get with the real good dude, and they're going to have to bring their own beer. They're going to have to bring their own bazooka. The women that still have guns need to get guns, 9mm, not 22s, and learn how to use guns against men. Boom, boom. I don't have a gun because I shot heroin 20 years ago. Women need to get guns, and they need to rely on themselves, not their poppy, when the grid goes away. Some poppies will sell their kids because there will be no food. Okay, we talked about this 20 years ago. It's coming. So some parents work for the devil, and they made a contract. She's in the chat right now. Was sold by her mom. Right now, we're talking to her. So many women don't acknowledge the women that will sell their daughter. All right, and it's in the news now. It's in the news. I don't want to upset your meal, but you need to know in the next 1 year, you're going to see a transformation that you did not hear until me. And then you're going to go, why not take his card? Why not take his card? Because of the bias. Now I'm going to translate my words to Spanish. Why? Because many people that I want to help don't speak English here. And I know their teachers are white supremacists. I know the churches are white supremacists. I know the Latinas at the white supremacist churches have been brought to the demonic frequency. So when I talk to a Latina man, he's judging me. And he's working with the white man who's the Nazi, and he's Latino. Now, when you have Latinos for Trump, they hate their own women, okay? Because they're not just about the illegals. They're about all of us that are brown. That's why they said, if you're brown in Lincoln City, happened last week, write down their license plate number if they're brown, right? I moved here in poverty to be around brown people because I hate Nazis. That's why I came here, a person of intelligence that speaks a million miles an hour, unlike your dad, because I'm from a place where the water wasn't poisoned. That's what I am, a person who, I was abused by my mom. Yes, that's why I'm screwy. But I grew up healthy. These people here are drinking poison. However, your water option here is better than over there. This. See, and I can sit there and take these and tell people, you need to come here, and they will run from it, right? Meaning, some of the people not paying attention could easily be kidnapped. If you're walking around and you're not paying attention, who's walking behind you, talking behind you, filming you, then a woman could be easily attacked. And that's basically what happened here in town, okay? Wish I could say something in Spanish right now because I don't think these three females speak English and probably think I'm having the time of my life. I don't think that. No, I'm not. I'm saying that because the manager here doesn't understand me. But I think she thinks I'm cute. I think she's cute. Gypsy, I don't want to go back and forth on the nature of her husband, so I don't want you to think this about you. That's not. But nearly all husbands will be jealous of a female talking to me. So it's important that I not get too deeply, but we're talking on our chat, so that's fine. On a day in which I said I needed your help. So we counted in 3 hours, Eddie, Gypsy, and then another name from another person who said she wanted to talk, but didn't send an email. Oh, she did send an. People treat me with hatred and say I attack this and that and hit below the belt. Do you realize your words hurt and that you are, her name is Jackie37 at yahoo.com, showing zero understanding of Nazism, racism, hatred, stalking, forced relocation. And so this woman doesn't have the empathy or understanding to realize that a hungry man needs help. There's plenty of people like Mark Passio, and I'm going to show Jackie him later so she can see a powerful speaker with comments closed who receives a massive amount of donations and help. Okay, so Mark Passio, who does yell way more than me, gets massive support for being white, angry. He totally exposes evil women. His comments are closed. My comments are open right now. But she's emailing me, talking to me like my comments are closed. Does she not know I have 2 channels? And so you can take your donation and shove it up your asshole because you're attacking a person on his worst day. And what you're doing, Jackie, is you're exemplifying what's called the prototype personality. And the prototype personality or the reptilian mind will attack, will berate individuals that are at their lowest moments. And they will do it and say things that will hurt someone while acting like they're innocent. All right? So let's go ahead and go to this email and finish it and see who else emailed. All right? All right. All right. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So it's very, very difficult to know when I'm dealing with new viewers and old viewers because sometimes people can be very generous when they find you before they get a chance to hear what you're saying. So once a woman, maybe a pretty woman, gets a chance to hear what I'm saying, she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you have those issues? So I just replied to a comment from a rude woman. He said, why are your comments closed? If you don't have comments open, you're no good. Comments are closed because of racism. So I applaud these modern white women that don't have racist people attacking them. Good on you, Jackie. I want you to explore your white woman privilege and maybe do something for white women being stuffed in cars instead of talking shit to a real victim of war. Your war on my people. So get fucked. How do you expect to collect donations if you don't allow comments? You're not entitled to scream at me in the comment section. I mean, there's countless amounts of DVDs and movies. You people that are addicted to comment sections are crackhead Nazis. You don't email, you don't say positive affirmations, and you don't even fucking believe for a second that Afghan lives matter. And Gypsy Rose, you didn't say it once. So stop with I'm your best friend shit. All right? Stop, Gypsy, with I'm your friend shit. Are you on the level? White lives matter, Native American lives matter, and I can say it 1,000 times, and you never once said Afghan lives matter. So do you understand that you ain't innocent? Capiche? That you're not innocent. Does your husband believe Afghan lives matter? I didn't think so. So now you're beginning to get it, that you've hurt my self-esteem. So you know that I expose human trafficking. Gypsy, how many people have you as a woman told about my channel? Afraid you can see into them. Hey, here's butts for you. Oh, stop it. Why don't you get fucked? When did you ever say that my life matters? Now you're doing what she's doing. You're calling me a woker. I said say my life matters. When you people have killed, oh no, we didn't do that, we didn't do that, we didn't do that, we didn't do that. Comment section's closed. I give and I give and I give, and you tell me to stop it? How about show empathy? How about say my life matters and be specific about the heritage this country's bombing? Your inability to do that, okay, and your inability to do that tells me everything I know about my, and then the thing is, you didn't even think, you're like everybody else. You're focused on yourself. You're not thinking about the holistic 8 billion people on the planet not caring about my life mattering and how systemic and systematic this trauma is. 4 people in total said those lives matter. You people that are watching out of the 12 are not 12 disciples of anything but him, my enemy. If you're part of the 12 and you believe that A, lives matter, certainly want to say it here and get bombed, but thinking that I'm a woker when you believe that white lives matter, and Native American lives matter, and Hispanic lives matter, and Black lives matter. Y'all believe that shit. And so there has never been really a woker agenda. To me, just introducing the idea of, I didn't say put on your fucking lawn, but you say to me personally, so I understand that you actually believe it. No, Gypsy, I don't see it. Right? And so if you do see it and I don't see it, then you need to do a screenshot and tell somebody that's being censored. English, you speak it? And then you need to grow some deep awareness psychically and go, oh my God, they're really hiding that. And then you need to grow empathy that you didn't have 5 minutes ago and go, that's what's going on. He's right. Are you ready? Do you realize where this rage comes from? And that's multi-lifetime. I can't stop it. The trauma will not leave. If you typed it, do you not know how to do a screenshot? And that's part of the problem here. You have to learn how to document what you do on the internet. Screenshot is window option on a laptop, and I instructed all of you to throw your phones in the river and get on a laptop. And what percentage of you actually followed the most basic rules? I don't have a number. But my assumption is you're tolerating it, but you're still laptop free. You're in a laptop, you get a cookie. So a screenshot, you have to Google screenshot. And screenshots are very easy. So listen to what I'm saying. Look at your keyboard now. Photos are shit. Do a screenshot. Look at your keyboard now. Identify the space key. Look to the left of the space key. It is the Alt key. Look to the left of the Alt key. There is a Windows logo. Combine the Windows logo with the Shift button and S. That is the Windows logo, which is left of Alt, the Shift button, and the letter S. 3 people just stopped watching. They couldn't handle the intelligence. And so I'm going to do it for you now. Boom, boom, boom. From there, a screen pops up. And then from there, I can take a drag and drop, right? So I have my mouse, and then it has like an X. And then I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab this, and drag it all the way there, and then release. And then once I release it, it automatically shoots to a folder that you'll have to figure out on your own how to identify. It really isn't that hard. And it's usually going to be titled, oh, I don't know, screenshot. By the way, y'all know I'm a genius. It's just amazing. And so doing something like a screenshot is documenting something. How many conspiracy tards that think they know what's going on don't even know how to screenshot? You all can learn from me because I'm a teacher. And a lot of you never had good teachers, and you told me to stop it when I go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper down the level, and all I can do is slow down. But the whole thing with F Lives Matter is serious, and I will not stop it. And I will not talk to people that want me to stop it. I will address the question over and over and over and say that they have created circumstances to torture you and harm you and threaten you if you even think about saying that to me. And so I don't trust people that can't say it. If you believe that the system is shadow banning, you need to learn how to do a screenshot or take a photo, and then you email it to me. And then from there, I make an article, capiche? And then I document with facts, with your screenshot, that you said it right, but you need to prove it through a screenshot, because I'm telling you, it sounds like they shadow banned it. You understand? Now, if they shadow ban it, Gypsy Rose, what does that mean? And I want you to think about it. I want all of you to think about that. Are they really shadow banning Afghan Lives Matter? What do you think that means for my fucking future? The feeling that I get is that they're going to murder and rape me. I have visions of these people, these cops murdering me and bashing my head out of my head. Man, in my older years, I'm in trouble if these people don't help me and hide me. I'm in serious fucking trouble. And my friend, okay, so I don't have people to talk to say you did the right thing. You're fuerte. You're good. You're strong. Fuerte, fuerte, fuerte. No. They want me to be weak. I don't think they understood me, but I just sat there and plead for compassion from the ladies over here. And I don't think they heard me. But it's like, I'm afraid they're going to kill me because I know too much. And so when Gypsy Fox says that they are going to kill me from this local police department because they are taking the women, please take it. Listen, give a pin. Thank you so much. God bless you.